duelists and beginner duelists. I am Animal86HS, and today we brought you here a 100% basic tutorial of how to duel for beginners and veterans who doesn't know the new technique, link summoning. Here is what I'm going to tell you. Now, I've been learning links during my duels, so what I'm going to do is to show you a demonstration. For the beginners, if you do not know, they have come with different effects. So you got here is spells, which is the blue cards. The monster cards. The monster cards can be orange or yellow. The orange means effect and the yellow means normal. So this is what monsters look like. They look like actual dual monsters. But if you look at their effects very carefully here, it will tell you the effect rather than the normal that tells you a detail. So that is monsters and monster effects. The other one I'm about to show you is traps. Now, what are traps? Traps is what you put face down. So let's say I place a trap card face down. And when my opponents do whatever, yada yada yada, then you activate the trap by activating this. See, it's simple. But there are different traps out here, and I could tell you all the types for beginners. So for beginners here, we will show you the spell cards. So the spell cards here, they are different types. Continuous, which is the infinity symbol. The ritual spell with the torch. The lightning bolt means a quick play spell. And this is just a normal spell. So what they do, for rituals, you require monsters to tribute. Except this version of Incantation Inception, for example, is a ritual spell card, but this requires a tribute of incantation monsters from hand or in field for ritual summoning, which is going to be exceeding or equal to the level. Depends on what you're summoning. So I'm just making as an example. Now we can move on to the different traps for beginners. You get these different types of traps. They are counter and continuous. Continuous, it stays on the field like this until like someone plays, like a twin twisters to pop this back row and stuff. Then that gets destroyed, which I can show you the field later in this video. Counter is where, if you say like Solomon Strike, for example, if a monster would be special summoned or a monster activating the effect, you could pay 1500 life points to negate the summon or activation and destroy this card. Destroy the card that you're targeting. So Solomon Strike is a really useful card, to say the least. I don't know how much in money. I don't even care how much the money is going to be. And then you got this regular trap card. And it works until the end of turn. It goes into the graveyard. So that gives you the traps for a very massive surprise to your opponent for beginners. And now with that out of the way, here's a really cool thing for beginners. The extra monsters. They're like big bosses of all monster types. So I put it in arrangement for the extra monsters here is synchros. So let's say you want a crystal winged synchro dragon in your field. For old schools, you only place them in the monster zone, which, this means you cannot normally put that there into a new format, which I will talk about it later. So what this does, fusion monster like Twin Burst Dragon. This has required two things, and it does not require polymerization. Normally, fusions has the right opportunity to use polymerization, super polymerization, or ultimate polymerization, or whatever fusion you have in your field that you're activating. Like it could be a fusion gate, it can be super polymerization, like I mentioned earlier, ultimate polymerization, and just the regular polymerization. So it doesn't even matter how it works, but that's how the way it goes. Okay, so the synchros is going to be a tuner requirement. So let's say this is Deskbot 1 and he's a tuner. So I summon a tuner on the field and I already have these two already. Now look at that level. So 1, 2, 3. You tune them up and then you synchro Crystal Wing in your field. That's the way it works. Fusion, you get to fuse it with polymerization, except this one. This one is a contact fuse, so it does not require polymerization. Now, I was about to tell you the XCs. The XCs, you had to overlay the appropriate level of monsters. So let me get my deck real quick, and I will show you right back. Okay, I am back. Now I can show you how I can... So I'm just using a different XC monster, say like the Hope Harbinger. So I'm going to pull the 2 level 8 monsters. That requires an overlay unit. So I'm just going to pull out the best level 8 monsters out here so I can show you how it works. Okay, here we go. So you have these two already on your field. And what you're going to do is overlay them, and then you XC summon him. Now, it works when you detach a material, you activate its ability. So you take this material out, and you just put it in your graveyard. That's the way it works. So I was just showing you a little example for beginners of how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And last but not least, the Link monsters that veterans are going to ask. So, what are Links? Well, the Link monsters, since they introduced the new type called Cyburst, it's kind of like this card, for example, like Inkle Talker. This right here is a beauty, and it has the number Link 3. That means the number of monsters you tribute, say this is a 2+1 Cyber's monsters, you just gotta get somebody that has Cyber's type, and then the 2 plus something to make the 3. And you put this in your extra monster zone. Now this unlocks 1, 2, 3. Because this one points to your opponent's monster zone. And you have 2 of these in your other monster zone. Now you could play the big bosses, say like Xyz, fusions, and or synchro. That's the way it works for Links. You just put extra monsters, since you don't do it normally. That's why the new platform is confusing for me, and the first time when it's, where it's all Links, and this is just confusing as ever. So, yeah. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. We will be making my first Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile by tomorrow when I get back. And I will show you how I make the deck possible by playing it and see what the method or the experiment of how this duel will work. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications when you see my video being uploaded to YouTube, and it will be ready to see. Alrighty, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.